Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to a Cornish First Look video at Domekeeper, a game developed by Bip Bin Bits and published by Raw Fury. For those of you wondering where the last spell episode for this week is, due to the time of recording, I am not well, and rather than record an episode for the last spell went to boss battle and I'm not feeling up to it, I thought I'd just do something nice and interesting, show off a new title for a little bit, and we'd be back to our normal viewing speed. So, without much ado, what is Domekeeper? Domekeeper is a procedurally generated roguelike, sort of like platformer. It's a weird game. The game is split between parts. It's split between a tower defense game, and if you've ever played the really old Prospector mining games, sort of like exploration resource game, and they feed into each other, and it's a very nice, quirky little indie title, well worth the time to look into it. It is also brutally hard. It is a very hard game. So first of all, let's check out the options. We have a nice selection of languages. There's also community translations for the languages that aren't available officially. We have enabled seasonal content, allowed telemetry so you can pick it up, screen shake, there's tutorials and other kind of bits. Video wise, a nice selection of options: stretch mode, scale, brightness, very nice. Audio systems is very good as well, including even frequency, which is something that you don't normally see in a game. You have different inputs and you can set up different controls. You have gamepad, accessibility, photosensitive, highlight, disable critics, disable critters, disable worms, bugs, spiders like critters that spawn the miners, visual effects in case people don't like that kind of thing, disable vignetti, disable the darkening vignetti effects when it appears in deeper levels of the mine. So overall, the option menu is very, very nice. I'm always surprised just how much energy indie developers will put into the options compared to some of the bigger name titles that I play, where their options really aren't that much. But first of all, let's dive into the facts. So you have a nice modding section, you have regular update information. But what is Domekeepers? So, Domekeepers, realistically, for lack of a better word, is simply described as this. You are a prospector, or I suppose in this case it's better to say maybe looter, like grave robber maybe. And you have been sent to these ruined, desolate worlds, or in your mind, they're ruined and desolate, to recover an artifact that has been lost there. And the purpose of the game is that you are to dig underground and explore to the deepest depths of the ruin and of the planet to find this lost ancient technology and bring it back, and that's how you win the game, and you extract from the planet. In the meantime, the dark, shadowy natives that you can see on screen up here are growing more and more aggravated with your appearance on the planet, partly because you basically did a low atmospheric drop onto them and rightly killed a bunch of them, so they're not too happy about that. And they will try and smash through your dome and feast upon your juicy insides. And you have to defend your dome while mining for resources. So this is where the game splits between being a tower defense game and being a sort of exploration and resource gathering game. It has a very unique 2D pixel art style. I like it a lot. I haven't unlocked a ton of things. Every time you complete a run, you can unlock one new feature, be it a new game mode, a new dome type, a new character model. There's some DLC, cosmetic DLC, out. But for the time being, I will basically, you have different domes. So you have laser dome, sword dome, artillery dome, Tesla dome. All of these things really change up your game style. For example, if we select the sword dome, you can see it being demonstrated up here. I like this feature a lot because it's really nice to see how the gameplay will be. So everything you pick is displayed on the screen. So let's go back to doing the default laser dome. And we have different keeper types. You have engineer and you have assessor. You do have another. I believe there is. I don't know if it's another, like another explorer type, or if it's just a cosmetic change. But you can get DLC to change stuff. 1 second, I will be right back. So better, folks. Right. So yeah. So these are your two core classes you can lock. Engineer and assessor. They play very differently from each other. The engineer is a lot more simple and straightforward to play, while the assessor is a bit more of a challenge, but has greater sort of benefits of it. I personally like the engineer. You can then change the cosmetic look. You can go with the normal standard look. You can do sort of like the sort of slightly magical look. And then you pick sort of like your primary sort of feature for your dome. So currently you have a shield. Install a shield that absorbs some damage, recharges automatically. Plant a tree in the dome that grows through to buff your movement and mining power. Repellent, not unlocked yet. Personally, I like the shield. You can do stuff like the tree here, but it does cost you the fact that the enemy will be punching into your health. So you'll have the shield and you have a health bar, and when the shield goes, your health bar takes damage. And then we can have the mode. So if we had it unlocked, you could press Prestige, which is basically Infinity mode to see how long you last, or we press Relic Hunter, find a relic buried deep, and bring it back to your dome, and thus we extract from the planet. And now we get into the different bits. We get onto the different game modes. You can do hard, you can do brutal, as you can see here. Still not easy, but more relaxed than the other difficulties. A bit more forgiving in many aspects. And then there's the dome's intended difficulty. This game is hard, folks. I'm not going to lie. The game is brutally hard, even on normal difficulty. And you can have run modifiers. You could do longer cycle. You have twice as much time between waves, but the waves will be stronger. You have automatic defenses. Start with all defensive gadgets and gadget autonomy, but without a main weapon. Let your dome do all the work. So there's different ways you can play. We're going to do a small map, we're going to do a normal difficulty, and this is Dome Keeper. Let's go. Here we go. We found a new planet. We're inserting through the atmosphere in our little dome. Woe betide anybody beneath us. Oh no, there's somebody beneath us. Here we go, and we killed the unfortunate leader of the place. Now we're on a clock because the enemy is here. So it's a WSD key system initially, and you're looking for resources, and there's 3 resources in the game. Let's see if we can find the first one, which is ore. Here we go. We've got a little bit of resources. We have to be quick about it, because the longer we leave it, the angrier things will become. So you press E to pick up your load and go up. We have very limited time with this, so we have to be quick about it. So let's go into our upgrades. While in your upgrade screen, everything is paused. Ooh, the color text is the color appearance, the palette has changed. Lovely. So let's have a look-see. What do we want to pick up? Actually, I don't know if I love that. I like that color palette. Let's see if we can change it. Video. Accessibility. Here I'm going to think turning done. It might just be set mode. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's just this particular character has this color palette. They always vary. So we have currently for you, basically, this is water. This is like crystal, I believe. And these are minerals or ores. So, we currently have 5 ore. Now, what do we want to unlock? Currently, we only have the base gun at the moment. Yeah, we only currently have the base gun. But I think what I will get is I will get the radar to tell us how long we have until the enemy turns up. And getting the health meter, which probably would be nice as well. Or if we wanted to, we could save it up for the first sort of weapon upgrade. Probably worth it, to be honest, right now. So let's... What did I just get? Oh, I got the health upgrade bar. Yes, the controls, be careful, the controls can be a bit unpredictable. But as you can see, we have just enough time to do a little bit more mining. You can tell the density of the rocks by the pattern on the outside. So the closer density the rocks are, the tougher they are. Okay, so you can also drop things with Q, which you probably will want to do from time to time. But we are basically out of time, folks, because battle is upon us. So here comes the battle phase, and the enemy is going to try and sneak into our base and horribly kill us. Initially, it won't be too hard. It won't be too hard, but the game rapidly increases in difficulty. So, you have to be always on alert. So let's grab these resources and bring them back up. My advice to people playing this is that early on, try and stick to areas where you can easily mine until you can get your tools upgraded, because it will allow you to basically be more effective and quicker at it. You're looking for resources. Let's see if we can... We found some. This is water, which is used for some other upgrades. Okay. So let's bring these things back up to the surface. And let's upgrade to pause our time. So we have 7 metal and 2 water. Now, you can, the predominant use for the crystals is to heal your dome. Water is used for multiple things: inventory management, adaptive wave warner will be signal when it's time and they head back to the dome. Upgrades such as better weapons, better mining. I am going to take the better mining tech straight off, and I will take this. And what do we want to save? Probably want to save shield, to be honest. But yeah, so let's do that. We haven't got a ton of time, so what I will do, as you can see with the upgraded tool, we make a lot more progress. I will start digging down, just to let you know when the timer runs out for this. The enemy keep coming even if you're not there, so please be aware of that. Okay, so there we go. What do we need to be looking for? We need to be looking for either ores or water, because those are the 2 predominant things that we use to upgrade. Okay, with that will give us 6 ore and a 6 ore and a water that we can use. Now, what do we predominantly want to be upgrading? Probably carrying capacity, to be honest. The quicker we can carry stuff out of the mine back to our supply base, the better. Okay, these are not that important right now. There are a couple of certain objects and subsystems that you can find buried in the ruins. can be used to basically be powered by them to be more effective. Let's just keep digging to see if we can hit... Now we're getting into really deep layers here. Okay, and we need to get back up. Now, we will probably want to get a weapons upgrade soon. Because very soon the enemy is going to be coming, just more than one enemy, they're going to be groups like the ones up here. Okay, so the shield should regenerate, we haven't taken any health damage, but we are now looking for more compact loot. So let's keep going in this direction. Now that's the edge of the map. Let's... Now as you can see the colour texture has changed. That indicates we're into a new biome type. Right. As time passes, the ruins will start to fill up with plant life, with fauna and flora, which is both a blessing and a curse. So let's get that done. At some point, we probably want to pick up the next speed improvements as well. Okay, we've got enough resources here, ore-wise, to do a lot of the basic improvements. The next one we will likely want to do is the speed boost. As I remind you, this timer does not increase while you're in the window, so it is very useful, if worried about it, to get into the upgrade screen and the game will pause. Now we have 4 points left. I will pick up the basic upgrade. A weapon is now can move, does more damage but is slower, so we probably want to pick up the improved speed boost to counterbalance that. I will also pick up the turn tracker to keep track of how many turns we're on, because that is really, really useful. Now, let's get out of this, and we'll go to the next battle. Where are they coming from? New enemy type has joined. Okay. And we now also, as you can see, we move actually substantially quicker than before. Okay, grab these resources. For those of you who are interested, dragging these resources up, and if you get too far away, they will detach and basically fall back down. So there's a bit of a strategy to it, widening pathways, all that kind of thing. Only a single one. That is disappointing. Okay. Get that up. More than likely, we want to pick up the damage improvement. Well, not damage, but speed improvement for the turning of the gun. Right, we're starting to dig down into the much deeper rock type, which is not great. You can also see now that different life forms are popping out in the walls, which is always very pretty. Right, we haven't got a ton of time. We need to get back up. But as I said, the game does not care. So let's pick up the speed pack. Where are they coming from? Here we go. And as you can see, the difficulty has spiked. So we need to be aggressively going down into the mines and always bringing back resources as quickly as possible. If we can break through hard layers and get to some of the weaker areas, it would be good. because then it would allow us to rapidly make more progress. Those minerals are useful, but they're not critical. And here we come to one of our upgrade stations. You find these buried in the ruins. These are upgrade points, which you use to add subsystems to your game, or to your dome. So if we go up and drag them in, we can pick up an upgrade. We could pick up a lift, we could pick up a probe, or we can shred for cobalt, which is basically what those purple triangles are. The probe adds a probe to your suit, which triggers to send out a pulse that reveals nearby resources. Must be recharged at station under the dome. Install an automatic lift that brings mineral resources up to the processing in the dome. I do like the lift. The other one is useful, but can be a little bit time consuming. All subsystems also require upgrading as well, so they will also eat into your resource pool. As you can see, if you go in here, you can see our lift. If we want to spend some resources, we can install an additional lift orb. How much the lift orbs can carry, speed boost for your lift when you're in it, which is a good way of getting about. But yes, this is the general theme of Dome Keeper, which is that you basically dive down into the ruins, explore, gather resources, upgrade and build up your dome until you find the artifact, and then you try and extract with the artifact. And this is the basic game cycle. Now that you're looking at it here, it looks relatively simple. You're like, oh well, you're doing it quite quickly. The ways aren't too hard, but this is the smallest map they have, and it's still going to be at least 3 different levels to get through, 3 different zones to get through before you can find the lost relic in question. The bigger ones you could have up, like I've seen sort of like 6-7 layers before, and the game can like stretch on. Like, one of the things about this game that is nice though, you can save wherever you want. There's only ever a single save file, but you can save wherever you want. And there's basically no sort of auto-saving from checkpoints. It is a very pleasant game. It's a nice game you can play if you want to play something to pass the time. Dome Keeper is a challenge. It's not an easy game, especially on the larger maps when there'll be a lot of enemies popping up, lots of different enemy types. The combat becomes quite sort of nerve-wracking and quite a race against time to upgrade your systems before you are overwhelmed. I like it a lot. I like the art style. The music is really nice. The combat is smooth and responsive. It works really well with its concept, which is basically a resource gathering game and a tower defense game, and they've managed to merge both of these things together really well. And if it's just something that you have a spare half an hour that you've got nothing better to do and you just want to listen to a podcast or basically just do something in the background, this is the game that you want to play. And I like it a lot. I really do. So if you go to the title screen, your process will be saved, and you can press continue. I like it a lot. I really think like Dome Keeper is a real sort of growing cult classic and highly respected little indie title, and I can understand why it won't be for everyone. If you're wanting a deep story or complex narrative, this is not it. This game literally is, you drop onto the planet, you try and steal an artifact from whatever ruined civilization was here before, and the local wildlife slash inhabitants, it's never really explained, really don't want you to be there, so they're either going to try and kill you, or you're going to have to try and kill them to survive. There's not a lot to it. The other class, there's another class that I didn't show off, which is a bit more challenging to play and has a bit of different gameplay style. There's lots of replayability with different modes and settings and difficulties that more and more unlock as you play. It is a really good little game, and I would recommend people play it. It's a nice way to pass time if you've got it on a laptop or something and you're on a train or going somewhere long distance. Playing Dome Keeper really helps pass the time. Well, I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been a Cornish First Look at Dome Keeper, and I shall see you again soon next time. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.